On Tuesday, December 11th, students need to turn in 3 research charts and a works cited that show what they've been doing for their research for the Victorian era. So I'm going to do a little walkthrough to kind of show what they have been doing in class and what's actually due tomorrow. So if I can get to my toolbar here, they're going to open a web page, and we did this in the computer lab last Monday, and go to our team website, 7bweebly.com. And on my page, Mrs. Culleton, A Christmas Carol. It has some important information of due dates. You'll see that the project is due tomorrow, the research portion, and then what they're going to do is take that research and actually do a storybook based on a character that they're going to create that lived during the Victorian era and lived the lifestyle of the job that they researched. But the actual research information, this is the handout that students were given in class that kind of outlines everything that they're going to do, and on the back is a rubric that tells all the graded portions. The research information here, these are the charts and all the different websites that they can use. And so what we did in class last week is they saved this as chart 1, chart 2, and chart 3, either on their flash drive or on their account through the school. If they did save it on their account at school, I did suggest that they either email it to themselves or bring a flash drive in, because again, this is not a project that could be done entirely in school. So they would fill in their name, the diary of a, and whatever occupation. So my occupation, I'm going to look up maid, a maid's kid, and maids belonged to the lower class. And so this is going to be my source number 1. And so if I go back to that web page, I can look through a couple of different things, and victorianera.org is one, and there's a specific link that I found that gave some specific information about what life was like for servants. And so they needed to break their research down into housing, food, clothing, entertainment, to get kind of an idea of what life was like for a servant. So we would just start by reading. Servants during the Victorian period were young girls between 8 or 12 or 13. Most houses, including the middle class homes, had servants. Oops, unfortunately, there are going to be some ads on here. They did jobs like washing clothes, washing dishes, preparing meals. So as I read through here, I want to find anything that I think is relevant. So in the servants used to sleep in the kitchen, or at times in the cupboard. So that would have something to do with their living conditions. So I'm going to paste that here. And since I'm taking information from this particular page of this website, I want to copy and paste the URL in case I need to go back and find it, and to give my teacher a place to show where that information came from. So I'm going to go back there and just keep reading through there and finding anything else that I think is important. And actually, probably all of this would fit there. It's talking about what their quarters might look like, what they did for holidays. Okay, and so now, let's say I found everything there that I needed about this particular website. I might go to a different page on the same website, maybe clothing. So we talked about clothing might be another way of saying clothing was costumes, and we're not really talking about costumes. If I find a picture that I'm going to use, I could put that in my chart under clothing. That might be a little bit big, so I can resize it. But again, since I took information from that page, I want to copy the URL in case I need to go back and to document the information there. Now I might take some information. The dresses worn by both girls alike. They were 5 years old. Whoops. Seem to be a lot of pop-ups here. So I'm going to copy that. That has to do about clothing that they wore. And so what I'm going to keep doing is going through that entire website until I find information that fits as many of these boxes as I can find. And there might be one or two, maybe I don't find something about working conditions or education here, but I will fill in as much as I can. And when I'm done, I'm going to print this and give it to Mrs. Culleton. This will be one of the 3 research charts. And again, it should be fairly filled in by the time they do this. I did need to do one thing though. I wanted to go back to the home page here and copy the main home page up here in my source box. Okay, and so I would again save that and make sure that I have as many boxes and information filled in. As you can see, there's all these links on the side for this website, and then more along the bottom. So I would say that using this website, they should be able to get as much, pretty much fill out that entire chart. When they're done, they can go back to some of the other websites that were listed on our team webpage. Oops, I went too far. In the end, they need to use 3 different ones. So victorianera.org is a website, fashionera.com, workhouses.org if they're searching somebody from the lower class would be a good one. This is a different website. This Victorian Shopkeepers is a sub-page from the Victorian England, but it's just an easier way to find it. And then this BBC History. And then victorianweb.org was a separate chart. And there were just some good things here about what life was like during the Victorian era for nutrition and what the poor ate. But again, on this website, there are tons of different links that they can go to. Each of these different underlined parts is another link to a different article. And so between political history and social history, there were many, many different places that they could find information. This is a little bit of a harder, higher level reading material on this particular website though. Okay. Now once all 3 charts have been finished, they're filled in, they're ready to turn in tomorrow, what students need to do is go back and make an actual works cited page. Now I've told students they don't need to worry about citing each of these individual web pages, just to cite the main website. And so this is the only URL that they'll need. Most of the sites that we used did not have an author, and there was one that actually didn't have a copyright date, although there was definitely a copyright for the source itself. Okay, so if you have any questions as you're doing this, please email me tonight while you're working. I'll do my best to get back with you.